So do you have some poems you would like to share with us?
I could, sure. So I have them on my phone. I didn't print any today. So I will read the poem that I mentioned called Erasure. And this is from my manuscript I'm currently working on for my first full-length poetry book. It's called The Length of Trauma Covets. And this poem is called Erasure. I'm terrified of being erased, as in rainbow sidewalk chalk after a long-awaited rain, as in girth of a sage bundle after overuse, trying to ward off 1,000 bad spirits, as in I can remember his pants down before I could grant consent, but no one wants to hear about it, as in flower essences dissolving on my tongue, as in quick-written poem that may go nowhere, as in Texas won't teach my people's history, but no one wants to hear about it, as in you people make everything about race, as in I can speak eloquently so I couldn't be brown, as in the partial animal skull I found by the creek bed, as in iris twilight bruising from the back of a hand but straight to the heart, as in you can't pronounce my last name so I've erased it myself, as in melancholy blue of dusk fading, as in my heart is not in this, as in am I worthy, as in my voice is getting quieter now, as in can you even hear me now? I break bread alone. I write several short sentences about trauma, then the world drops dead. An orange-bellied swallow prances beside my cold legs, oblivious to human pain. She's making poems with the shape of her breath in the weather. She breaks a worm from the ground. I break a line. That's the first one. Eye on the sparrow. I woke to rapid flapping, the air cold, the time unknown, the dog's paws tapping on chill hardwood floor, sudden commotion. Jumping to corral what was assumed to be an animal fight, I find a California Towie in my dining room. Frantic, frightened, brisk movement in her wings making the room that much more frigid, I stammer to her. Follow her room to room as she attempts to fly her way out of walls until she finally calms, allowing me to cup her into my hands. We sit together outside on a frosty concrete step, my bare feet settling on top of wet fall leaves. My bare feet settling on top of wet fall leaves, gathering the taste of morning in my mouth, the scent of rain and dirt. She catches her breath. My thumb softly wrapped around her chest, feeling her heart rate regulating, her eyes opening, her fear receding. Leaves rustle, wind and traffic move along, while she and I watch each other in a place where time moves slower than the rest of the world. Her eyelids the color of peach and terracotta. Her body the rusty hue of autumn, her eyes the same shade as mine, dark as loam. I flatten my hand, she doesn't move. We sit together for what seems like hours, what seems like fate when safety is reciprocated. 10 minutes later, she flies. Stops on a dog-eared picket and looks back. The dog quietly watches me, how I love and let go all at once. In 2021, I applied to be a Poets Laureate Fellow with the Academy of American Poets, which is the largest financial supporter of poets in the United States, but they also provide a lot of other support to poets. So I was thankfully one of 23 Poets Laureate selected from across the United States for the 2021 period. So with that, I was able to receive a ton of support from their organization for my own writing, but also to do a community project. So I decided to install poetry displays around the county. They're in select locations all around the lake, and they include poetry boxes that were built by local resident Gary Mays, also a poet and a retired doctor. And the other option were little libraries. So we have one here at the Lower Lake Schoolhouse Museum. Anyone can take a book and return a book or keep it if they'd like. But the idea is to exchange poetry books, but it's also open to any other genre of books.
Well, thank you very much, Georgina. It's been a pleasure. You're a phenomenal artist, and thank you for coming out and sharing your heart, and your craft.
Thanks for having me.